Hey, happy Friday out there to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight we're going to be doing a small little painting on a mangrove. Mangrove out in the water. So we're going to get started here. Tell you the colors I've got so far on my board. I've got a pale blue, I've got phthalo blue, titanium white, and just the smallest dab of violet to start with. So the first thing we're going to do here is get our brush, and I'm going to start up with the sky. I've already got this taped off. Now you don't have to tape it off. You can take a straight edge or a rule or whatever and make your horizon line wherever you want. Never a good idea to put your horizon line straight in the middle of the painting. It's visually not appealing and it just doesn't look right. I mean, you can do it, but it looks better if you're above it or below it a little bit. So I'm choosing to have a little bit more sky than water. So we're going to start off here with a little bit of phthalo blue. Start up in the top, because up in the sky is always darker. Sometimes you have to get a little bit of water there. I'm going to work my way down the canvas a little bit here. Get a little bit more water. And what we want to do is just cover this as much as we can, because I'm going to go back and we're going to put a little bit of that pale blue in here. And we'll work our way down lighter and lighter. So I'm just going to go straight in without even cleaning my brush into my pale blue. You want to try to get this blended in as well as you can. I'm going to take a little bit of my pale blue and my white, titanium white, and just mix it together like this on your brush, because we want to get these cloud streaks in there. And this is the easiest way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what. Just keep working that back and forth till you get it blended. Now, I'm not even going to put a whole lot more paint because I've got so much in my brush. I'm just going to work this down to the line. Make sure you get along that line there real good. Maybe a touch more. I'm going to go back up here to the top and put in a little bit more phthalo blue. Alright, so now we've got the basics of our sky down. We've got a little bit of dimension and depth in there. I'm going to actually add a little bit more phthalo blue down here just to get some highlights. Some in here. Here. You don't want it to look like you painted lines, but just get a little bit more highlight and depth in there. Then we're going to fade that all the way down. To the horizon line. There we go, just like that. Isn't that pretty? So now, what we want to do is, we'll start with our clouds. Now, clouds something that people have the hardest time with. I know people that just for the life of them cannot do clouds. And it's just really letting your hand be as unpatterned as you can. I guess that's random. You want randomness with clouds because clouds are random. So let's see. I'm gonna get this guy. Now with my clouds, I'm going to start off with just a little bit of titanium white. And there's a little bit of that light blue in here, but that's alright. So let's build up some billowing clouds over here. So, and another thing is a lot of people just get too much paint on their brush. See how I'm just kind of like bringing this back and forth, just not really doing anything. It's a nice cloud. Get another one here on down below it. And just randomly tap and move your brush. Now, one of the things you got to keep in mind too, especially with clouds, is where your light source is coming in from. And believe me, sometimes I just let all that go out the window and paint. I'm like, uh-oh, where's my light source coming from? I don't look right. So, I'm just gonna keep playing around with this. Just get some stuff in here. Just barely touch the edges with some of that white highlight. Even up in here like that. Let's put a little guy over here. See how I'm just rolling my brush around? Just rolling it around, doing weird little things with it. There we go. Again, I'm going to take just a little bit of that titanium white on the end of my brush, just right on the tip. We're just going to go right along the tops of these. Build that up. Yeah. I think I kind of like it just like that. I don't think I want to really add too much more of that. I think that looks alright. Now, one thing I am going to do down at the bottom though is we need to get that far, far away clouds that, or you see at the horizon line, there's ones that are way back there. So what I am going to do is, this is where my violet comes in, excuse me. I'm just going to take my brush, dip it in, like just this, like when I say the smallest dab, I mean you can barely see that on the edge of there. And we're just going to come along in through here, lighten this up just a little. Fade that right on up into the top. Bring it right up. Not too much. And now acrylic paint dries super fast. And so you really need to work kind of quick with acrylic. Now you can use a retarder right here, and it's an additive for slowing down the drying of acrylic. And so you can add just a small bit of that with your paint, and it will prolong the life or the length that your acrylic stays wet. Okay, so now we've got that in. We've got that little bit of, now when this dries, that's going to fade right off into there. I'm going to bring just a tad of that white. Right in through there. All right. A little bit too high. All right. So now we're going to go in with our titanium white. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to pick up a little of this light blue, pale blue, just a little bit on the end of my brush with that white, because that's going to give you that shadows in there already, and you just put it in. So we're just going to randomly go along the bottom here. Now with these, you don't have to go all the way down, because the bottoms of it blend in with the horizon. I'm going to fade that out. Just some little towers going up here. There we go. There we go. And that's it. So now we're going to take our tape off. And there we go. You got your sky and your horizon line. So now we're going to get our water in. So we're going to start off with the phthalo blue along the horizon line, because the water's always darker blue back there. And so get my brush in here and get some blue. We're going to just start working our way across. Now you see how I left that little bit of white? Well, we're going to put a faraway island back there, and we're going to see that white beach. So now we're just going to start coming along like this. Get this along the edges. Alright, I'm going to put just a little bit over here because in the center here we're going to put our beautiful, beautiful seafoam green water. And I'm going to start that with ocean green and Viridian. Now I haven't used this Viridian before. I've got my other Viridian, but I like this color. But I'm also going to use some emerald green because we got to get that shadowy color in there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm just using a 1-inch flat brush, most of this. So we're going to start getting that water in. You're going to blend it right in with that blue. Because where that white was, it's really going to stick and show. Blend it right on up. See how nicely that blends right in with that? And you know, just dabbing your brush in water really helps this spread and go a long way. I'm going to take a little bit of that emerald green that I was telling you about. Got to have those little dark spots of green. All right, that's looking pretty. All right. How you liking it so far? Pretty simple, huh? Well, maybe not simple, but it isn't. It's not really that hard. It's an illusion you create a lot of the times. In a simple way, with just a few brush strokes, you can create an illusion. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get those islands in. So I am going to use, where is it? Burnt sienna. Just a dab of burnt sienna. Because we're not going to put big, this isn't something you're going to really see a whole lot of. I'm going to use another one of my, I'm just going to use my little fine point, little fine tipped round. We're just going to dip into that. Got crazy wild hair coming out of this. And right along here, we're just going to make a little raised area. Above that white. I'm going to have to paint that. Stage right on out. Same over here. Barely see that guy out there. I'm going to take just a little bit of sap green, just a smidge of sap green, and I'm going to put it right if I even open this. Yeah, there we go. We're just going to do a little bit on that top of that brown, just so you can see the foliage, or the, you know, trees and stuff. You don't have to paint any trees, you just want that, you know, look, when you look at an island from far away, you can see the green. You want to do a little palm tree. So now that I messed up that center with my hand, I got to put that back in. All right, there we go. So now we're going to put in, I think right along in here, we're going to put in a little island for our mangrove to be sitting on out there. And we're going to do the same thing. And I am going to use a smaller bright. I'll use this angle brush. All right. So now what I do is I'm going to take that burnt sienna and just a touch of white, titanium white. A touch mark. All right. And we're just going to make a little island right here. Just a little guy out there. Got a little bit of dirt there along the edges. There we go. Now we're going to put in our mangrove. Now, as you know, mangroves, the long arm of the South, mangroves grow those long arms out just randomly everywhere. So what I'm going to do is put a little base in and then have them coming off of it. And so I'm going to use just a smidge of black. Need that anyway. Titanium white. Now let's see. Let's get a little tree going here. No, got the wrong color. That's all right. That actually worked out. Black, a little white, a light gray. All right. So now, a little brown in there. Actually, I don't like that brush. We are going to go with my liner brush. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get serious. Get my white, a little bit of that black, lots of water because I want this to go on really smooth. See how that just rolls? Like eyeliner. All right. Well, these guys hang off everywhere. You're just going to have him coming right down off of there. These guys will go everywhere. All right. Now right along the edge of that water, we need just a little bit of white. And you're just going to line along the water, you know. All right, it's looking pretty good. Now I don't know if you can see that tree real good, but he's right there. Cute little mangrove tree growing there. So now we're going to give him some leaves. So I've got my sap green. I'm actually going to use a little yellow ochre. Actually, this is gold ochre, but that's just going to be like for those little yellow leaves you see that are dying. And a little bit more of my sap green. Don't know what's up with that. Alright, so now underneath is going to be sap green because it's darkish. You need to have that. For every negative there's a positive space. So we want to get the dark green in first. Alright, just like that. So now I'm going to take a little bit of titanium white and I'm going to mix it with my emerald green and we're going to make a light green. Right there. I'm just going to tap some highlights. I'm going to go right into my gold ochre. And just here and there, lightly. Go back through with your dark. Alright. I'm going to take my liner brush. I'm going to go back in and just highlight with a little bit of the black on these bottoms of these mangrove.